You are listening to Keep Canada Weird.
Handsome Aaron Airport. We made it back for our 179th episode of Keeping Canada Weird. Cheers to you. I don't want to show you what I'm cheersing you with because it's going to be revealed shortly. But how are you, my friend?
I'm very good. I can kind of see what you have. I don't know. It looks like a soda pop. But I don't know the details. Your hand is covering the label, but I can tell by the bottle and the color that it is a soda pop.
Yeah, I do have a special drink. It's nothing fancy. I was building it up for nothing. I just got some Diet Pepsi.
Oh.
I had a busy day, so I didn't have time to go anywhere to get a special drink for tonight. Do you got anything?
I have a special drink. You may not like it. You may not think it's special, but I do. I have oat milk.
Oat milk. I don't think I've ever drank oat milk. I drink almond milk a lot, never oat milk. What possessed you to have oat milk?
I like oat milk, so I have it in the fridge, and it's sugar-free.
That's a great special drink. I like it because it's different. You said I don't think you'll like this. I do like that. Anything new in your life? Anything we should talk about before we get into all the weird Canadian news over the past week and the voicemails and all the other magical things we do during Keep Canada Weird episodes?
I've returned to school this past week, so that's been exciting for me and different.
In grade 11, right?
Well, if I finish this year, I'll be in grade 11 next year.
In all seriousness, you're not in a high school. You didn't go back.
No, I'm just doing a couple courses at the local university to further my education. So it's been it's been exciting. I went and got my school supplies. That was fun.
Oh, cool. With all the kids. That's awesome. We're all proud of you and we support you. I'm not going back to school, but I too have had a big week. Our parent company, formerly known as the Nighttime Podcast, recently passed away, and the torch was picked up by another up-and-coming company called the Canadian Gothic. I don't know if you heard about this. Some people listening to the show are listening exclusively on the Keep Canada Weird feed, and they hear us mention Nighttime Podcast, the podcast that produces Keep Canada Weird. Nighttime is no more. It died on its 10th anniversary to the day, but a new, better publication called the Canadian Gothic has replaced it. So do you want to say welcome to our new parent company, Aaron?
I would love to say welcome to the Canadian Gothic. You are our new podcast overlords. We bow to you. Hopefully you will protect us from the animal uprising and the puberty problem.
We're going to hear about the puberty problem tonight. I called out to listeners online for feedback on the new show, the Canadian Gothic. We have a listener named Greg who's weighed in on Keep Canada Weird topics in the past. He knows that we have a little thing for naming segments, and I think he may have forecasted a little problem with the Canadian Gothic name. Listen to this.
Hi, Jordan. This is Greg from PEI, the saddest province in all of Canada. I've managed to pull myself off the couch from a complete state of exhausted sorrow to leave you a voicemail. I really like the name Canadian Gothic. I think that's a really, really cool move. From what I know about the Gothic term, it is a subculture of dark and mysterious and a supernatural kind of stories. So I think that makes a lot of sense for the stories you tell. But more importantly, it comes also from, I believe, medieval architecture that highlights pointed arches and flying buttresses. So if you're looking to rename any segments of Canadian Gothic, the flying buttresses, I think that would just be a really, really smart branding move. Love the new name. Love the podcast. Thanks so much.
So as Greg points out, a flying buttress is an architectural element typically associated with Gothic-style architecture. I just don't know if that will come into play anywhere within Keep Canada Weird. I was even thinking maybe that could be like a name for Canadian Gothic listeners, the flying buttresses. Every podcast seems to have a clever name for their listeners.
Yeah, like we have the Keep Canada Weird Army.
We more have a correspondent network that goes all across the world.
Yeah.
The Keep Canada Weird Army is a different thing. That's more like an advocacy group that supports us.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting way of looking at it.
I appreciate the voicemail from Greg. I'm glad to allow that to be the way we introduce the Canadian Gothic to Keep Canada Weird listeners. But let's get right back to another voicemail that's a bit more Keep Canada Weird centric. It's going to come as no surprise to listeners of the show that opinions are mixed about your newfound propensity to be banning people for perceived slights against you. There's now a growing number of listeners banned, and it all started with hashtag ban Norm from Vegas. We have another longtime listener, Peterborough Pat, who wants to speak out about your censorship and banning of listeners, but speak out in support of what you're doing. Listen to what Peterborough Pat has to say.
Hi, Jordan and Aaron. This is Pat from Peterborough calling in about Aaron banning people, calling that leaving voicemails he doesn't like. I like it. You know, I've been listening a long time. And when you guys first started out, Aaron had more of a chip on his shoulder. Had old ladies calling in, swearing at him. And now he's just drunk with power, banning people excessively. I like it. I hope he bans me. Hopefully it's not very long. But love the show. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, there you go, Aaron. So it's not all haters out there. You have people like Pat who like to see you wield the heavy hammer.
I'm curious what other listeners out there enjoy me banning other listeners. So I would like to hear from some more listeners in support of the bans. Hopefully there are more than just Pat. But I'd like to say to Pat, thank you for your support. And you are banned. I'm going to say how long...
I'd say just a week or something. It's not a big deal what he did.
He's banned for the rest of this episode, and then he's back once we're done.
All right. Another thing you just called out for opinions on banning. You also famously in episode 178 called out for stare stories. We've received several stare stories. I'm not going to play one now. I'm going to tease it. It's going to be a special treat for the end. So if there are any listeners who at any point in the show get bored with what we're talking about, they consider tuning out, let me just tell you right now, there will be a stare story at the very end of this episode.
That's right. It's the story I'm looking forward to the most.
I don't know. We got some good ones. Tonight, we are going to keep Canada weird by highlighting, exploring, trying to make sense of the unique and offbeat stories that played out across Canada over the past week. And there has been some doozies, including one story in particular that has led to my inbox being flooded with emails related to a drunk guy driving a pink Barbie Jeep. Of course, we're going to talk about that. We have a story about a birthday party. We have the puberty problem affecting a Walmart. We have so much. In fact, we have so many stories that I want to do something we don't always do and take our first break extra early so we can get right into the first batch of stories. They're going to be stories of dumb Canadian criminals. Let's have a drink of our oat milk and Diet Pepsis, and then we'll get right to it.
We should mix them together.
Oh, that'd be disturbing. I bet you the milk would curdle.
No, it's oat milk.
Yeah, you're right. You'd probably be fine. Handsome Aaron Airport, we got to jump right into it. I'm going to open the show with a story of a dumb Canadian criminal that is now amongst our most requested topics. Easily, I received 50 emails related to the man in the pink Barbie Jeep in Prince George, BC. You've seen this?
Well, I was one of the people that messaged you about it. So
yes, that's
right. You've seen this, right? You've seen it?
For anyone who doesn't know what we're going to talk about, let me introduce it. In Prince George, BC, police pulled over and arrested a man cruising down a busy road in a child-sized pink Barbie Jeep. While onlookers thought it was hilarious and the arrest overkill, police say the driver was impaired, he was unlicensed, and he was very much breaking the law. Let's get into it. Here is the story of Casper Lincoln, the man on the pink Barbie Jeep.
An unusual traffic stop this past Friday morning. Officers stopped and eventually arrested an allegedly impaired driver piloting a pink toy Jeep along 15th Avenue in Prince George. Police say the man was creating a risk for himself and others, driving the battery-powered toy along the busy roadway. Officers say the driver had a suspended license and failed 2 breathalyzer tests.
I didn't think you can get a DUI on a Barbie truck. I think it's really hilarious. Like, it's funny. It's just I gotta go to court though in December.
He was arrested and brought back to the RCMP detachment, and a full impaired driving investigation did find him driving over the legal limit.
Lincoln says the toy Jeep belongs to his roommate's 3-year-old daughter. It is back with her, and apparently there is no damage.
I just love that quote from him where he's like, yeah, I found it pretty hilarious. Yeah, I got to go to court though.
I'm speechless at this story. It seems too bizarre to be true. That's very much true and real. What a guy. I don't support drunk driving, but I cannot help but laugh at the story of the guy driving the pink toy electric powered Barbie Jeep, dressed like an idiot too. People are listening to it and probably chuckling at his voice, but he's wearing like these big 80s looking glasses. Like it looks like something like Hulk Hogan would have wore in like the 80s. And he has on a shirt that says, "Let's do it in the dumbest way possible." With like the,
Yeah.
those kind of shirt where it's just the big text on the front. So he looks completely ridiculous driving down the street and gets pulled over. Do you think this is a crime? Should they throw the book at this guy?
Well, he was driving on a busy street, so that's really the issue. If he was just driving on the sidewalk, not bothering anybody, I'd say, yeah, let him drive to the store inebriated on a Barbie truck, but
Yeah.
in this circumstance, he was putting himself and other people at risk because he's driving on a busy street.
Yeah, he was on the side of the road, and there's a bit of a dispute or a debate about where he was actually driving. According to him, he was on the sidewalk until he got to this one street that had like a closed lane. Then he got in the closed lane, he says, but never went into where the traffic would be. But regardless of that, if you're driving a vehicle on the roadway and you're impaired, I think it's probably best to err on the side of caution and deal with it. It's just it doesn't seem like he's too bent out of shape about the whole thing. As you said there, he's on national news being like, "It's hilarious, but I got to go to court in December."
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling it won't be as funny in December.
No, because there's no way he's getting away with this. He's going to fight it apparently, but he's not going to win. He has clearly broken the law. He failed both breathalyzers. He was on the road. Yes, in a child's vehicle, but still in a vehicle on the road, he's toast. Yeah.
Yeah. Why two breathalyzers? Like you think if you fail one, that's it.
I assume
Why did they give him two?
I assume just because maybe to make sure that if they're both reading the same amount, then it's safe to say that the breathalyzer, both of them are correct.
I wonder. Yeah.
But
I just don't think I don't think I've heard of a case where someone did too. But this guy, it seems like he's no stranger to this whole game. Another quote he gave, if you read, there's a CBC article about this. If you read that, one of the quotes that he has in that article that just made me chuckle and is a bit revealing. He said, "I've been arrested a bunch of times before, but this is by far the most hilarious one."
Yeah, the most
So I have a feeling
hilarious.
this isn't the only crazy thing this guy did.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the most. I've had other funny arrests, but this one's the funniest. So what
This
are
is-
the other
yeah.
ones? But it's weird because he took this, which is his. He said it was his roommate's 3-year-old daughter's car.
Car. And what do you call these things? I want to say Hot Wheels, but that's not it. When I was a kid, did we call them Big Wheels or something? It's like those little cars with a battery in them. You buy them
Yeah.
at like Costco or something, and a kid can sit in it. And
Yeah, it's a child's toy, but it drives around. It has a gas, not a gas, but it's a battery powered.
probably goes 5 kilometers an hour or something.
Yeah. But like he took it because he was too lazy or too whatever to just walk to the store.
He wanted a Slurpee, but he was too lazy to walk to the store. So he took his roommate's daughter's toy car. He sounds like the worst roommate ever, by the way.
Oh yeah. But in order to be roommates with this guy, you're probably someone who's also brutal.
I have a feeling, yeah, because he just sounds unimaginably annoying to be around.
Yeah. But I mean, you can walk faster than these vehicles will take you. So why even take it? You're going to get the Slurpee faster if you just walk at a normal pace.
You would think, right? And which leads me to believe that this wasn't about being lazy and getting the Slurpee. I believe, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say this, I think he was drunk and he was just having a great time. Eyewitness accounts, if you read the many articles articles that were written about this. This is big news. Eyewitness accounts say this guy had a ear-to-ear smile. He was laughing, living his best life. And there were many people who spoke out in support of this guy, being like, they should just leave him alone. You know, the law was too heavy-handed with this guy to arrest him. But I don't know. It's a slippery slope if you let people get drunk and drive things around.
If he wasn't drinking, it would be a whole different thing.
And he had a suspended license too, so it's kind of like he lost his license probably for doing something dumb related to a car.
I mean, if you let this guy get away with it, then everybody's going to be hammered on small Barbie vehicles everywhere.
Yeah, because it would be, admittedly, that would be a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I want to.
You mentioned that this guy, who wherever he lives or whoever his roommates are, it's probably kind of a collection of people who don't always make the right decisions. And that will lead us into our next story. On its surface, it's not really a Keep Canada Weird story, but when you look at it through a certain lens, it is very weird. The story's out of Hamilton, Ontario, and it involves security cameras. In Hamilton, Ontario, a man is appealing a city order to remove his 10 home security cameras, despite the fact that they've helped catch a serial killer. Here's a story of privacy, surveillance, and probably the worst neighborhood in Canada.
Everybody has a Ring doorbell camera.
There are 10 security cameras mounted outside of Dan Miles's Hamilton home. He says they've been a valuable tool for crime fighting.
I've actually participated in evidence sharing of 3 homicides on these cameras, over 40 break-and-enters, multiple home invasions.
The cameras, Miles says, haven't prevented crime in the neighborhood, but they've helped with investigations.
I've given up over 40 videos to the Hamilton Police Services themselves, who have come here in person and asked me for them.
Including this one, shared also with Global News, multiple angles of an alleged serial killer, and shots of a 77-year-old man just before his death. So it came as a surprise when the city of Hamilton asked Miles to remove all of his cameras, citing this fortification bylaw, which prohibits homeowners from viewing or listening beyond the perimeters of their property.
Well, when people try to break in your home and your cars and all that kind of stuff, or they're killing people, it's a good thing to have it on video so you can at least go after them in somehow.
At nearly every press conference, police make a point of asking the public for help, specifically requesting dash cam or home surveillance images. Well, here in Hamilton, police tell us they rely on CCTV images from residential and commercial buildings in order to solve crimes.
Like this video showing the moments before a fatal crash that led to a dangerous driving conviction.
The crash investigator actually just messaged me, emailed me, and said, without your video, we would have had nothing. Thank you so much.
Miles appealed the order from the city, then Monday morning received word he may be exempt after all, provided he can get a letter from his landlord.
Some sort of proof of police or criminal activity in my neighborhood. Now, I don't know how else to provide any evidence of criminal activity other than videos of 3 homicides.
What is with that guy's neighborhood? I would want the cameras, but more than that, I would want to move. That sounds like he lives in hell. Serial killers, home invaders, reckless driving killers. Come on, let the man have
And
cameras.
then the city turns around and says, oh, and, give us your cameras.
Yeah, it's a really weird bylaw. It's unique to Hamilton, it seems. It was called like some kind of fortification bylaw. And it was basically like you're allowed having surveillance cameras, but they're not allowed to film any other private
Past your property line.
Yeah, which is really weird because like imagine how many people in Hamilton have a Ring video doorbell facing the road. I think this guy is just, there must be someone complaining or something, because when you, in this news report, you see the outside of his home and there is a bunch, like it looks like there's a bunch of cameras. So someone must have just complained. The people who complain about bylaws.
Well, it looks like he has a lot of cameras up for sure. It does. I will say this, it does look suspicious and odd if you were to walk up to his property and see all of those cameras pointed in all those different directions. And I'm sure there is some issues that perhaps there's more, again, like a lot of these stories, there's more to this than what we're seeing just in the news clip. So there probably is a camera that's pointed towards somebody's window. and can see in, and there probably is some lines being crossed here of like, he films me while I'm in my backyard, like just going about my daily life. He can see me showering, maybe. Like,
But yeah, that stuff, there's already laws against that, though. Like, there's spots where if you have a reasonable expectation of privacy, like, in your bathroom or whatever, if someone is filming you there, that's already illegal. So you don't need a bylaw for it. If someone is just standing in their front lawn and it's visible from a public area, then, they can't expect to have privacy on your front lawn. So I just disagree with the fundamental aspects of this bylaw. And I think somebody did probably complain, and that's probably what started it. But I think this bylaw is so out of date. There are so many people in Hamilton
yeah,
that are in breach of this bylaw, and it's just a matter of someone complaining about every one of them before the city's like, okay, this bylaw, it's impossible to enforce. We just got to get it off the books. But one thing that came out in the print version of this article is that he does say that the people in his immediate surrounding, his neighbors, are supportive of what he's doing and appreciate him assisting the police in the way that he has been. But he did say specifically there was one neighbor who didn't want my cameras pointed at their property, so I just adjusted the angle so it's not filming their property anymore. I wonder if that neighbor, complained, went to the city, something like that is probably all it took.
but is one neighbor complaining gonna make a city put in a whole entire bylaw over it?
Oh, well, no, I think the bylaw was probably already there.
Already there.
One neighbor complained, and that led to the enforcement.
And then they enforced the bylaw. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
But I'm sure if there are 15,000 Ring video doorbells in Hamilton, I'm sure half of them are filming neighboring properties.
yeah, I mean, just if it's on your door, it's pointed towards the street, it's filming the house across the street from you, 100%.
And the news reporter in this also made a good point, is something that's so common during police or criminal investigations is that call out. If you have a dash cam footage, if you have any surveillance footage related to this, contact us. And also, what about that? If this bylaw affects your ability to have a camera filming your property for security and accidentally getting a bit of your neighbor's property or something, what about like dash cams and stuff that are just driving around town? This bylaw is out of date. They need to get it off the books.
Yeah, I agree. The bylaw is stupid. It's got to go. I would like to know the interaction between him and the neighbor. I'd like to, know a bit more about that, because the way he tells it, he just kind of tosses it aside. But I'm sure there is probably more to it, because there was a lot of cameras there. There were.
Yeah, there is. But I think he's just, what's probably happened is once he got lucky and filmed one or two like really nasty things, he's probably kind of ramping it up. Like, I'm going to put up another camera and make sure I get that alley and get this spot and that spot. But as you're watching the news report, they're showing like clips that he's filmed of people breaking into neighboring properties, a serial killer, this old man walking right before he gets murdered, this, a vehicle speeding, which 2 intersections away ends up killing some people. So it does seem like him having all this surveillance serves the public good.
It kind of does, but
Yeah.
I will say this only to an extent, because so this guy is now setting up all of these cameras to kind of almost in a vigilante style way catch criminals, right? And then he hands the video footage over to the police, and then the police arrest them. But you're walking a very fine line here in terms of, accessing the general public's security camera footage versus becoming a police state where we're being filmed 24/7 by ourselves.
Yeah, I know people have such varying opinions on surveillance and personal freedom and privacy and these sorts of things. As a generally law-abiding person, I kind of am okay with maybe a bit more surveillance. Like if something happens to me or someone I care about, I would be happy to know that it's filmed and captured and, things can get taken care of. I talk about this a lot on the show. About 8 years ago, someone broke into my car and they stole the Halloween candy out of my trunk. I kind of wish the entire province of Nova Scotia was covered in surveillance, perhaps from like satellites or something, and they could have got the prick who destroyed Halloween that year.
Yeah, but let's be real here. I don't want to give up my privacy and my civil liberties to protect my Halloween candy.
I don't think he'll ever have to make that choice, fortunately, in Canada.
You can't have both.
Let's move away from this topic. Before we get into our next duo of stories, though, I want to play you a voicemail. This one I really enjoy. There's something about it. It's a listener named Christy who wants to weigh in on a story we talked about last week. You remember the downspout thief, the fella going around stealing downspouts off all of the homes?
I do. Yeah, I remember that because I think about those spouts all the time.
I do as well. Christy wants to weigh in on that story and compliment the show. But listen carefully, because there's something about her delivery that makes me feel like at any moment she's going to tell us we screwed up and she's never going to listen again.
Hey, Jordan and Aaron. I am not a person to normally send in a voicemail, but I've been listening to Jordan since day one with his interview with his grandparents about their alien encounters, and have enjoyed all the different variations of the podcast. Hugely enjoy Aaron and his input. That being said, I'm calling about the drain spouts. My not so positive view, being a renter for so long, I think that maybe it's a landlord who cannot afford to properly replace drain spouts on his buildings that he needs to rent out, and he's stealing them instead of buying new ones.
Did you hear what I was talking about? Where did it kind of feel like at any moment there was going to be a big but you guys offended me with the downspout opinions?
No, I didn't pick up on that. I got to be perfectly honest.
Really?
It sounded very sincere to me. And
okay.
Do you want me to ban her? Is that what you want?
No. I listened to that voicemail, and halfway through it, I had my hands over my face, oh my God, what did we say during the downspout section? Because she says, I've listened from the beginning. I like you guys. I like Aaron.
Okay, yeah.
But I have something about the downspouts.
Yeah.
Aaron's opinion on the downspouts will lead me to unsubscribe. I will never listen to a show that disrespects drainage. I kind of thought it was going there.
Yeah, no, I didn't really get that.
Okay.
She just had an alternate theory on the downspouts. And
yeah, and I think it's a good one because, one thing we can all say here in Canada is that landlords, to a big extent, aren't very popular people.
No, but I mean, I'll ban her if you want. It's not a problem. Do you want me to ban her?
No. If she's been around since the beginning, I don't want you to ban her. In fact, Christy, I want you to go to thecanadiangothic.com/contact. Click on the button that says claim your swag pack. Since your voicemail was aired on the show, you just have to put your address in there and it'll send you something extra special for being a listener from the beginning. And no, you are not banned. You are exempt from Aaron's banning spree.
Easy there, pal. You can't dictate who I ban and when I ban them and for how long I ban them.
Okay. Like you said last week, I will toe the line. I'm going to toe the line right through the next ad break. When we get back, we have two stories from each side of the age spectrum. We're going to hear about a senior. In fact, we're going to go to her birthday party.
Ooh.
And then we're going to visit a story related to the puberty problem. And it's awful. After this short break. Handsome Aaron Airport, are you ready to party?
I've been partying this entire time.
Not like we're about to party now. We're going to birthday party. In Saskatoon, Rachel Ironside is about to celebrate her 104th birthday, which will make her one of the few Canadians to reach such a milestone. You and I are invited to her party. Let's go right now.
Oh, let's go. Together.
I love when a birthday party's in the news. I don't get invited to many, so this is special. Let's go.
Okay, I'm going.
Rachel Ironside marked a milestone very few ever reach, her 104th birthday.
I'm trying to tell everybody I'm 104. They don't believe me. That's why I went and took out my birth certificate and carry it in my purse.
To say she's seen the world change is an understatement. She was born in 1921, growing up on a farm with no electricity.
No telephones, no TVs, no radios for years.
Those around her say her positive outlook is her biggest strength.
She's kind, she's got warmth exudes from her.
Her daughter, Joan Cybernagel, was concerned when she moved her to her current care home, but that concern was short-lived because she said this.
You know, Joan, I make friends wherever I go. At that moment, I knew she was going to be fine.
And when asked what her secret is to such a long life,
you're going to laugh. Peanut butter.
She starts every day with that, and it's on white, untoasted bread. She used to bake that bread up until a few years ago. Also, she boasts 36 great-grandchildren, 10 great-great-grandkids, and even 2 great-great-great-grandchildren.
Happy birthday, Rachel. 104 years. I assume she's listening. Let's go for 104 more, Rachel. That was a great party.
Nobody talked to me there, though. I was kind of I felt a little out of place.
I didn't know anyone, but I was just happy to be at the table with a 104-year-old. She says, no one believes me. Based on her voice, I do believe she's 104. She looks great, and obviously her mind is fine, but her voice sounds every minute of those 104 years.
Yeah, the people who are saying they don't believe you are just humoring you, and they know because you're older you'll believe them. But
yeah,
they shouldn't lie to her. They should be honest. Say, you look 104.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think her secret, though, she credits peanut butter for doing it for her. She says, I have peanut butter every day on my untoasted white bread. Yeah, the peanut butter is probably great. But then right after that, they say, for years, she made the bread herself. I think a part of her longevity is probably the fact that if you're of her era, like you didn't eat processed foods for so many years. So I think she's probably built a good foundation of health in the creation of her body over those 104 years. I think that's probably helps her a bit. And also it said, I forget the exact number, but she had like 36 grandchildren, this many great-grandchildren. I think she has such a large family. She's so busy. I think that keeps you young too, like doing stuff. I feel like what wrecks you is when you slow down and stop. Your body shuts off.
Yeah, I really want to know the brand of peanut butter she's talking about. Is it Kraft?
Definitely
is it
not.
Skippy?
Actually, I wonder because a lot of seniors are a bit careful with their money. So I could see her buying that like kind of cheaper, like Kraft or Skippy or like, the cheaper peanut butter that's, kind of messed with and processed to make it cheaper and has sugar added in. I would like to think that she's eating like, you look at the ingredients and it says peanuts. But I have a feeling that's probably not the case, especially at an old folks' home. They probably are feeding them all like the cheapest slop.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking like, well, was she eating her own homemade peanut butter? Was she eating like an organic peanut butter that's just basically, pure and without all the additives? But
whatever it is, if she's got to 104 years, like whatever she's doing it right. And to still have your mind, like to be able to talk and answer questions and stuff, that's pretty awesome. I just celebrated my grandmother, who's been on the show recently, talking about ice cream. We just celebrated her 95th birthday. So I have some longevity in my family as well. And aside from my grandmother's hearing being poor, you can talk to her, you can joke with her, and she still gets it. I just really hope, my mind lasts like Rachel Ironside or my own grandmother. But I did read a report actually in the news that's been bothering me, and it's about how artificial sweeteners are now linked to early cognitive decline.
Oh, really? Because I eat a lot of Splenda.
Yeah, and I drink Always Diet, zero sugar, all that stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
The Keep Canada Weird may get really interesting by about an episode 350.
Yeah, just be us sitting here drooling the entire time apparently. So that'll be all right.
We'll have AI, we'll be so good by then that it'll just fix it.
Yeah, we'll just sit here and smile. But I really noticed that there was no ice cream at the party.
Yeah, that was the elephant in the room. I think she had some birthday cake I saw in the background
There
of.
was some cake, yeah, some straight up white frosting cake that you see at every elderly person's birthday. But
Not fair. You work 104 years and you can't give this woman some maple
yeah,
walnut.
some fudgy chocolate, like just
Yeah.
hook them up. No ice cream.
That's enough to upset some people. Not as much as this next story will upset some people. We have to visit one of the most uncomfortable topics that we discuss here on Keep Canada Weird. We refer to it as the puberty problem, the name that we've coined that describes the phenomenon involving teenagers across North America and more likely surrounding the whole world of an increase in impulsive, antisocial, and just downright awful behavior. In Winnipeg, 4 teenagers were arrested after a chaotic armed robbery at a Walmart. Police later revealed the weapon was an air gun, but the situation could have been a whole lot worse. Listen to the story of the puberty problem hitting a Winnipeg Walmart. And this will show you why it's the teenagers we need to be afraid of.
Happened yesterday at the Walmart located at the Unicity Shopping Center in West Winnipeg. Winnipeg police say 4 teens entered the store, took backpacks off the shelves, filled them with merchandise, and tried to leave without paying. That's when a security guard grabbed one of them during the altercation. Another youth pulled out a gun and demanded the guard let the youth go.
The armed suspect pointing the gun at the security personnel and firing at him, almost hitting his face. Thankfully, the gun was determined to be a CO2 propelled cartridge air gun.
Winnipeg police were in the parking lot. Someone flagged them down and officers quickly entered the store and arrested 4 teenagers. Now facing armed robbery and weapons charges today are a 13-year-old boy, a 13-year-old girl, a 15-year-old girl, and a 17-year-old boy. All have been detained in youth custody. We heard from Inspector Jen McKinnon of the Major Crimes Division. She spoke from the heart about the reality of theft in Winnipeg today.
Retail crime used to be about shoplifting. Shoplifting, meaning hiding something in your jacket, in your bag, and going out of this store unnoticed. The goal was not to get caught. People didn't get hurt. Kids didn't come to the store with firearms. But this is what the staff and security are having to deal with every day.
The story's awful. It doesn't surprise me at all. And I hear that this Walmart, the specific one in Unicity, the Unicity Walmart in Winnipeg, it's a Walmart that has a reputation of being like a little wild and rowdy in the night. Maybe that's the reason why these police officers were like in the parking lot when this happened. But I too have a kind of rowdy Walmart not too far from where I live. So I get that, but to go in and steal and decide to bring a gun with you, or whether it's an airsoft gun or a pellet gun or whatever, you're only 13 years old. Like, come on, like this is a big problem.
Yeah, it's really dumb behavior. But what is an airsoft gun? Like, what exactly is it?
I'll be honest. When we were kids, we had like BB guns, which shot the little round metal balls, and pellet guns, which shot like, it looked like a little metal dart thing. I think nowadays you don't call them BB or pellet guns, you call them airsoft guns. And they put like a CO2 cartridge, like the little metal like gas thing, and that's what like pressurizes the gun to shoot those things. I think that's what an airsoft gun is.
So it shoots a BB.
Yeah, a BB or a pellet. We just call them like pellet guns or BB guns.
Yeah,
but now
okay.
I think airsoft is
That's just the-
it's a moonroof or sunroof.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, what is an airsoft gun? It's like just shooting air? Is that all it's doing?
No, well, it shot something because they said it almost hit the security guard in the face. So they did actually shoot a projectile out of this thing. So whatever it was, like these, again, it's this, when we talk about the puberty problem, we're talking about this kind of situation, a 13-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 17-year-old. These kids, they already have troubled past. They're facing other court conditions and stuff related to earlier things that they've done. These people have absolutely nothing to lose, and they will do this violent, insane stuff for probably next to nothing. They were probably there stealing a bunch of like Pokemon cards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're so young too. You can't see your hand in front of your face when you're that young. in terms of the consequences of your actions and, what's this going to mean for the rest of your life and all of these things. It's just they're so wrapped up in their own day-to-day nonsense. I remember when I was a kid that we did I never did anything like this. But certainly we did a lot of things that I look back on. I was like, we were not thinking at all. It was so dangerous. We shouldn't have done that. We could have been arrested. We could have been hurt. We could have hurt other people. But you're just in the thick of it when you're at that age. And you can't be convinced that you're wrong on anything.
And peer pressure's BITCH as well.
Yeah.
Peer pressure can get you to do some crazy stuff. When I think back to the riskier stuff that I've done when I was younger, it was usually because I was with people who were either older or people who came from families where the kids could just do whatever they wanted. And I was with them. So just, fitting in, and it didn't feel as outside because I was, with other people who had normalized this kind of behavior. But that's a part of the puberty problem is all these teenagers are together in a group. And that's why when you see a group of teenagers walking towards you, even if they look like nice kids, cross the street or run, get the hell out of there.
Yeah, no, I avoid teenagers at any cost. I go as far out of my way as possible to make sure that I'm nowhere near them. They're erratic, they're unpredictable, they're violent.
And one of the ways this could have went wrong as well is private security now, like security guards at stores and stuff. If you look around on the internet, there's a lot of videos of them taking their job too far as well. If you're a kid or whoever, and you pull out a fake gun, it's like you're giving someone else a free ticket to do God knows what to you. So whether it's the police that showed up or these private security guards, I don't know if they have weapons or what, but like this could have been way worse. These kids in Winnipeg, I hope their parents ground them until the cows come home. But puberty problem doesn't seem to be a problem that's going away anytime soon.
No, it's a problem with many problematic angles to it. It's the problem with the teenagers. There's the problem with the name of it. It's caused a lot of controversy on this show. And unfortunately, just as the teenagers were shooting off their airsoft guns, now I'm shooting off bands.
That's
to
true.
People over the puberty problem name. This is how complicated and layered this whole issue is.
It is a horrible problem with many tentacles going in many directions, affecting many people. You're absolutely right. But with all that said, we're about at the end of this, but I teased something important at the beginning. You remember last week, we heard a story about a car that had stairs on it. What was it? And then we had a second story about stairs. We had two stairs stories last week.
Yeah, there was the person who set the Guinness Book of World Records.
We had the Stairmaster. We had the car with the stairs on it. That prompted you to call out to listeners for more stair stories because you knew they would be out there, just like you were able to predict that tire stories would have their own subculture surrounding them. We did receive some stair stories. I want to end the show with a really good one. This is a listener named Michael who... this could be connected to the puberty problem because he was a young boy. He did something awful and it earned him a stair story. This is almost like a confession booth. I feel like if you want to introduce this, I don't know if you have any kind of priest characters, but imagine Michael is coming into the confession booth and Father Aaron Airport is going to offer him to confess his crimes.
Yeah, sure. I've got a priest character ready to go if you want to.
Yeah, let's do it.
Extra, extra, read all about it. I'm not a newsboy anymore. I'm a priest. Tell me your story, my son.
I am here to fulfill your request for old stair stories. I actually have a very bad story. I was a very bad child, and this is something I did. I stayed several weeks at my grandparents' home in Orangeville, Ontario. My elderly grandfather had a VON nurse come for home care, and I just decided to do a little bit of mischief. I took a winter coat, I took snow pants, boots, gloves, all that. I stuffed them with a bunch of laundry clothes, and I basically made a mannequin out of them, leaned it against the door, and when the nurse came, she pushed the door open without ringing the bell. When the direction the door opened was towards the basement stairs. So basically this mannequin was pushed down the stairs, and she was convinced that she had killed my grandfather until he walked into the kitchen, and she had a sigh of relief and gave that poor nurse quite a fright.
That's a good story. It sounds like he made almost like a scarecrow. I don't know why he did that. I don't know what his plan was. Was he just going to stand it there so she would be shocked to see like a statue looking thing stuffed with clothes? I don't know what he was planning to do. He just describes it as, I was going to do a little mischief.
Yeah, I mean, my impression of it is that it went exactly how he had planned. He had the mannequin dressed up in his grandfather's clothes,
I guess.
And and he's like, well, I'll stand the mannequin here. She'll open the door. It'll knock the mannequin over, and the mannequin will go down the stairs, and she'll think that she committed murder.
Okay, I thought the thinking that she killed the grandfather was kind of like an accidental thing. Like I thought maybe he was just trying to startle her or something.
No.
If he was trying to do that, to lead the nurse into thinking that she killed his elderly grandfather, that is awful, Michael, and shame on you.
Well, it's mischief. That's what it is.
It's definitely mischief. Ha ha.
Yeah, we're going to start labeling things as mischief now.
I was just going to do a little bit of mischief. And the way he says it and explains it, he seems so innocent. Michael, you seem like a really nice guy.
I could just picture his fingers just like rattling together, I'm going to just do a little mischief today.
I like it. But is that a good stair story?
It's a fantastic stair story.
Absolutely. And the stairs play a pivotal role in it?
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's got everything. It's intrigue. It's got mischief, which we now love.
There's a bit of a twist in it, because as he's describing building this thing, you don't know where it's going to go. Never would you think, oh, he's going to set the nurse up into thinking she killed the grandfather.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was a roller coaster. I loved it. And God, we want to hear more. We know there's more exciting, riveting stair stories filled with romance, filled with adventure, filled with mischief. We need to get these stories out to the world. Stairs are interesting.
It's it. We struck oil. We struck liquid gold. Thank you for sharing that, Michael, for kicking open the door of stair stories from the Keep Canada Weird listeners. Michael, go to thecanadiangothic.com/contact. Claim your swag pack. It won't have anything related to stairs in it. Although if we get enough stairs stories and demand grows for this, I will get special Keep Canada Weird stair-related merchandise that will go out in swag packs, just like what I do have in the current swag packs for at least probably the next 10 or 15 of them. I do have seniors eating ice cream stickers. It would be cool if this grows enough, I will get some kind of stair merch. But that was good. I think we will get more. I'm not a fortune teller or a psychic medium, but I do feel like there are people listening right now who are like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I do have an awesome stair story.
Yeah, I think there's more out there. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed.
Yeah, we all have them.
Let's start a whole community here, and the stair lovers can connect and think about the discussions about stairs that you could have.
That's right. I think we've done our job here. We've kept Canada weird. We had some great stories. The pink Barbie Jeep, obviously a standout. People wanted to hear that. We had to do it, so we did it. The Hamilton cameras, that raised a lot of interesting questions. Most of all, what the hell's wrong with this particular neighborhood of Hamilton? I was glad to go to a birthday party with you. And yes, teenagers are still awful. Our work here is done.
I think it is.
Handsome Aaron Airport, until next time.
Jordan, Bus Stop, Backhoe, Bonaparte, until next time.
The pink Barbie cars, I love the idea of those things, and I have since I was a kid, but the batteries do not last. You can find 100 of those things, and one of them, if you're lucky, will have enough battery to actually turn those wheels.
And Jordan, until next time, let's get into some mischief together.
I want to thank you for helping Aaron and I fulfill our mission to keep Canada weird. Now, if any one of you listening want to get more involved in what we're doing, we need all the correspondence we can get. So if something weird happens in your area, or if you have any thoughts on anything we discussed tonight, let us know about it. The best way to reach us is by using the voice recorder that can be found at thecanadiangothic.com/contact. Now, I'm going to start wrapping up the episode, but before we part, let us thank a few people. First of all, Aaron and I want to give a big thank you to all the correspondents who contributed to this episode. If your voice message was aired on the show, go back to thecanadiangothic.com/contact and fill out the form to claim your swag pack and Keep Canada Weird badge. We'll happily get it right out to you. Next, a big shout out to Unicole for the intro and outro voiceovers, and Monty Data, who provides the outro version of O Canada that you're about to hear. And then lastly, but most importantly, we have a massive thank you to every one of you listening, as without your interest and your support, this work would be impossible. And for any one of you out there who want to support the show financially and get more out of the show at the same time, please consider the premium feed. Our premium feed subscription costs just a couple bucks a month, and that money will fund the creation of new episodes. But the premium feed will also give you those episodes early, give them to you ad-free, and give you access to a full back catalog of Keep Canada Weird episodes and bonuses. You can go premium at thecanadiangothic.com/subscribe. And even if the premium feed isn't for you, you can still support the show by simply sharing episodes on social media. That's free, and it's a big help. So until next time, take care of each other, hug your loved ones tight, and please keep Canada weird.
And keep Canada weird. Please keep Canada weird.
And now to our viewers and listeners everywhere. Good night.
I didn't think you can get a DUI on a Barbie truck. I think it's really hilarious. Like, it's funny. It's just, I gotta go to court though in December.
Some sort of proof of police or criminal activity in my neighborhood. Now, I don't know how else to provide any evidence of criminal activity other than videos of 3 homicides.
You know, the thing about the oat milk is it doesn't age well. You know,
like once it warms up.
Once it warms up, it's like.